I'll just hand you the
Shoot you one?
The box or the actual ring?
The actual rings.
Okay.
Place you use rings.
At the same time.
Do you want both or do you want one? I'll take both.
You take your book.
After the bridal party exits and the family exits, everyone to please follow them out down the hallway.
So if he's saying all that, who's walking?
We haven't left him. We are still in the exact same floor.
Great question.
Gotcha.
Before he exits, before we leave,
Yeah.
he's gonna say,
I'll pronounce you man and wife. They'll say, alright, I think we're gonna let these two go out. We're gonna sign some paperwork. After the bridal party goes, families will go. It's in your hands.
So Kay Ray, and then Chris is going after you. And then we finish up dinner. Then we move, pork teas should be set up and ready to roll. We'll do first dances. Kelsey and me. Kelsey and Tim. Me and Mom. And then the festivities start.
When do I get to do my interpretive dance?
It's right after your speech. 12:01 a.m. It's you for everyone tearing down.
Is that morning or night? I don't know. All right, job.
Can you guys come to this side? So the pole's on in front of you? Hit record. Like this?
Yep.
Does the rocking help?
Makes it more interesting.
Action shots.
Kelsey, how about you put your back to Evan, if possible? There you go. Good. And cozy up a little. And kiss her ear. Couple more right here. And just look at me, big smile. Awesome. Okay, keep moving.
You want to go all the way down or you just want to?
Maybe another quarter.
Can we do a
It's a decent angle. Kelsey, take a little step forward. Good. Kiss her forehead. Your eyes closed. One more kiss on the forehead. Good.
Oh, I have 4 of those shirts, 6 of them.
Okay, we have 6 open seats. Moms with kids. Chad, step, go. Chad, second row. Go. Chad.
Bill's funny, huh? My game? Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello.
Please be seated. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Reverend Casey O'Connor. I'm a close friend of Evan and Kelsey's, and I'll be officiating the ceremony today. I gotta say though, I'm a little embarrassed to admit that I wasn't the couple's first choice to officiate. Fortunately for me, they decided that Ted Zeller is a little too talkative. Don't think he can keep that around. That's where I came in. First and foremost, though, I want to welcome everybody to the wedding. The couple made it very clear to me that they wanted me to thank you all up and down for setting aside the time and traveling to be here today. So thank you, everybody. From the bottom of our hearts, you'll never know how much it means to Evan, to Kelsey, to be surrounded by this group of people today. I'm looking around and I'm seeing well over 200 people here, and each and every one of you is here deliberately to watch a couple of crazy kids profess their love for one another, and I think that's a very beautiful, very powerful thing in and of itself. I will say though, if there are any randoms out there thinking they're about ready to catch a minor league baseball game, if you haven't taken the hint yet, that's not happening today. You might want to sneak out the back. Some of you might know this, but Evan and our Cedar Rapids Colonels actually knocked the River Bandits out of the playoffs. Evan sat behind home plate and heckled them, causing 10 strikeouts in the game for the Colonels to knock them out just to help his own cause and free up this place. So we have it all to ourselves today. So Kelsey, I think he's off to a pretty hot start as far as providing for the marriage. Yeah, I appreciate a guy that knows how to help his own cause. As you can all tell though, we're planning on keeping things pretty light today. We're planning on having a lot of fun. The couple also wanted me to say this is a celebration today, so keep that in mind. Today's a celebration of life, celebration of love, celebration of the Dawfelts, Tim, Cindy, Joe, and Julie gaining a son, and this is a celebration of the Zellers gaining another beautiful daughter. I've had a crush on Kate for a long time. While we celebrate into the night though, we should all take a moment to smile fondly and share some of our favorite memories of those who left us too soon to be able to be with us here today. We especially remember those who are recently departed, Shay Zeller, Shirley Wright, and Lucy Dawfeld. Kelsey, you and I, we were lucky enough to get to know Shay at around the same time, and I think that's really worth mentioning because now that you're officially becoming a Zeller, we should talk about the ground rules that we have learned while hanging around with the family in Sullivan. For example, we learned that rule number 1 of being a Zeller is that the best way to tell someone you love them is by making fun of them. Shay always made fun of Evan for being too tall and too skinny. Evan always makes fun of Kate's laugh. No, that's it. And everyone made fun of Teresa when she had braces. And then there's Ted again. Ted made fun of the whole family for everything all the time, showing his unconditional love. And by some of the things he said to Phil, I think he really loves Phil too. Speaking of love though, I was with Evan when he first laid his eyes on Kelsey actually. We were in the most romantic place in the world, Panama City Beach, Florida. St. Patrick's Day. I remember Evan telling us all about a goddess he had seen on the beach that was walking around wearing a fedora. It took a couple of days before he finally met the elusive fedora girl, the girl he'd been obsessing about. And fortunately, when he did meet her, he learned that she also went to UNI and actually had a lot of mutual friends. Kelsey says she knew Evan before that. She'd known who he was before they met on the beach due to their mutual friends. Evan said this didn't really surprise him because he was, quote, a big deal on campus. And people know him. It took a couple of more years before the relationship really took root, though. Kelsey moved down to Iowa City to complete her degree. That was around the same time that Evan graduated from UNI and eventually moved back to Cedar Rapids with myself and Matt Foxover. Then through various forms of communications via social media, an impressive first date of sushi and edamame, the relationship really took off. Like I said, during this time I was living with Evan in Cedar Rapids, and I actually got to know Kelsey very well. There were a lot of weekends where she would come visit Evan in Cedar Rapids. There were a lot of times they graciously invited me to third wheel on their dates, still do. We even went on quite a few weekend trips, one of which was almost exactly 3 years ago to the day when Iowa played at Soldier Field in Chicago. At that point in time, spending the weekend with Evan and Kelsey by itself was a blast. But when I was driving us home, that's when I really appreciated how compatible these two were. We'd stop for gas in middle of nowhere, Illinois. When I hopped back in the car, I was driving, and I looked over to Evan, who was in the passenger seat, and he said, "Well, that's everybody." And so I said, "Okay." But man of the cloth, I'm very trusting, compassionate, and so I drove away. Shortly after that, I noticed that Evan couldn't stop giggling, and that's always a bad sign. So I pulled over and said, what is the deal? What's going on? At which point I realized that I had left Kelsey stranded by herself at a gas station, about 3 miles back. So we turned around, pulled her up, and it was actually her reaction to let me know, this might actually be the girl. We pulled up, she scowled at us for a while, threatened us, and then just broke out laughing. We got in the car and we went back. It was probably the best part of the trip. And that's the thing about Evan and Kelsey. She laughed right along because they have a very similar sense of humor. And I gotta say, you too, I really appreciated being there then. I appreciated when I lived together and we kind of all sort of lived together as roommates. And I am beyond honored to be here today, and I cannot wait to be with you guys for the rest of our lives. I'm not going anywhere. But now we're gonna get serious. The couple each chose a quote that they would like to read to each other that they think represents their relationship here. Let's start with Kelsey.
He's not perfect. You aren't either. And the two of you will never be perfect. But if he can make you laugh at least once, cause you to think twice, and if he admits to being human and making mistakes, hold on to him and give him the most you can. He isn't going to quote poetry. He's not going to think about you every moment. But he will give you a part of him